You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly.
Okay, welcome to the Village of Wappingers Falls monthly regular meeting. Mayor and the Board of Trustees. Today's Wednesday, July 10th. Can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a recognition tonight of Trustee Tilizak. We come forward down by the flag. Mayor.
Mr. John Tilizak, resolution of recognition. Whereas John has served the village and community for many years as a volunteer and village board member, also many other activities. Whereas John has offered his time to the entire village with activities such as Boathouse, Oddfellows, and recently Village Recreation Department, also many other organizations and activities. Whereas John has been and is very active with the Village Recreation Department and is a regular attendant and participant at all village public meetings. Whereas John has dedicated much of his time to true volunteerism and positive participation in many village and community events. Now therefore be it resolved, Mayor Kevin Huber, the village board, and all the citizens of the village express our sincere gratitude to John for his generous service to our village. Be it further resolved, Mayor Kevin Huber be directed to deliver this resolution to John Tilizak at the village board meeting July 10, 2024. Congratulations. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you for all you guys do.
One more announcement, there's going to be a ribbon cutting at the new Bain Park Playground over at Clap Avenue and Lower Henry Street. These over there, if you want to pick one up, it'll be 10 o'clock this Saturday morning. So that's exciting. I don't know if you've all seen that playground. It's just state of the art. It's even special, not even grass, it's like a rubber synthetic material that's really, really nice. Okay. Mayor Huber.
I'm present.
Trustee Nicholas.
Here.
Trustee Tilisak.
Here.
Trustee Marsh.
Here.
Trustee Marshall. Absent. Trustee Ruffin.
Here.
Trustee Smith.
Here.
Village Attorney Lindars is running late. Action on minutes, Emergency Village Board meeting minutes, June 5th, 24, regular Village Board meeting minutes, 6/14, and special Village Board meeting minutes, 6/26.
Can we get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
Authorization to pay bills as per approved warrants.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Parks Commissioner Ferry would like to address the board.
One of the things I'd like to discuss is the Parks Committee. We have a good group of people on the committee, people who love the village and know the importance of parks and green space. But we've been at it for like a year, and we're not getting too far, because there's some confusion. For one thing, is we have a Parks Commission, a Recreation Committee, Parks and Recreation Department, and a Boathouse Committee. So all of those things, we're all in different directions. I think at least Parks and Recreation, it should be consolidated. So that's something I'd like the board, if you could look at that.
Okay.
The other thing is, we've been working on park use guidelines.
I'm sorry, can you speak up?
Yep. We've been looking at park use guidelines, and we've written up some drafts for discussion with the board or the legislation committee, whoever would do it. But a problem that we have, and I was hoping the attorney was going to be here, a problem that we have is that there are no park rules in the village code. And without them being in the village code, you'll have a problem enforcing them. So we'd like to see more stringent rules in effect, and we have some, I don't want to call them liabilities, but where, for instance, somebody goes down there with a grill and wants to cook hamburgers, we don't have a rule that you can't have grills in the parks. So we all verbally say that you can't do that, but we don't. We don't have a law that you can't have more than 19 people playing a game down there. So you have, during the week, you have these big soccer games, taking up the park, limiting the use for a lot of other citizens, but we're not collecting any money, because what do we, if we rent the park, say for $50, we say $50 to rent it for the night, you want to play soccer, and we would have to also define the area we're renting, and that would be income for the village, but we don't have that. And so we can't kick people out of there, but it should be in the rules, and it is in this draft, that, you know, you limited, once you're up to 19 people, you need a permit. So all that, there's a lot of stuff in here, and these were taken from various municipalities, probably leaned heavy on the town of Wappinger, but that's what other municipalities do. Okay. So in order to get signs that say the rules, we have to get that first into the village code. So I sent most of the board members, just before I left my house, copies of this.
Okay. We get the legislation committee to look at that and get going on that, because I think a lot of that stuff is very important stuff. I know the
if we want,
park is very heavily used on weekends.
So another thing we have is an updated park usage and guideline fee schedule. And this also is a lot more detailed when you're renting facilities out or fields. We're missing in a lot of places. One that comes to mind, when we eventually start renting the boathouse, or even the pavilion down at, pretty much anywhere really, but down at Vets, we have nothing that says the age of the people renting it. So you could have one adult rent it and have a kids' party. The kids' party, when I say kids' party, would be just kids or just teenagers or whatever. So we need rules like that in place. There's a lot more, that's just an example. There's a lot more types of things that we need to have. So those, I believe, would also have to be in the code, and they would also have to be put into the application. And then the third thing I had, was the bench and tree donation program. So that was previously approved by the board, but we were looking at changing one of the parts of it to allow people to dedicate a bench that's already existing in a location. That would be a reduced rate of buying a new bench. So the village attorney wanted to see the copy of that added, so I did add that, and I highlighted it in this copy we give to him. So the other thing, we've been working a lot on the boathouse. I know I believe we've met you down there. We've met with Joey Cappuccini down there and other people, and have had discussions last night with Trustee Tilichek. But it seems to be kind of at a standstill. And again, you have the boathouse committee, you have the parks committee, and I don't know who else. But I would ask that you look at merging the boathouse committee with the parks committee. And one reason is this: that boathouse has been there for 10 years, not being used. And we keep going through different administrations in the village, different people from the board on the committee. But your parks committee, if it runs right, somebody else will take over as chairman, I'll move into a member, and you'll have pretty much more institutional knowledge or knowing what's going on in the parks, what needs to be done, so that when a new trustee comes in, or a trustee who's busy with a lot of other stuff, would be there as a liaison. They agree with something, they bring it to the board, and that's the way it would work. I think with the boathouse particularly, it's been through a lot of hands in the past 10 years. Having a steady committee on it, we could work together to make progress fairly quickly.
Definitely.
Do you have an idea for the structure for this combination or combining? Because I agree with you, it would give you better continuity.
Right.
But do you have any, you must have some idea on how to do it.
Well, I would think just adding the boathouse to other parks, considering a park facility.
The wholesale move into the parks.
Yeah, and then, I mean, we don't have the power to really do it. It would always come back to the board, but if we could look into things, make some suggestions, and I think it would move better that way. Because we're eager to get things done.
It does sit on the next
Yeah.
to Irrigate Park, so it's hopefully just one big part. So,
We concentrate on just parks, and we're eager to get things done, whereas you guys are going in a lot of different directions, and even though you're eager, it's like, okay, now I gotta go to the water board, or I gotta go here.
it's always something.
And so I think we could work together and get some things done with that. And, there's some good ideas, and, yeah.
We can work on that. Trustee Tilichek and myself, right?
But that's if we could have, I know we spoke last night about having a meeting soon, and we spoke last month about having a meeting, so I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks, the Parks Committee and the Rec Committee and the Recreation Committee, maybe it was, but Joey Cavalcini, I was thinking also Bill Beal we should invite to that meeting, but a meeting just to discuss ideas about the park, and then maybe, once we have some focus, turn it over to us, just as an advisory board, not as somebody wants, just an advisory board.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie.
Okay. At the last meeting, there was motion to buy some benches and things, and it got tabled. So we need a motion to remove that discussion off the table, from being tabled.
I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second?
Is there a second?
I'll make the second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Need a motion to move restricted recreation fees in the amount of $11,721 for the purchase of a total of 6 park benches, garden and Brooklyn style, and 4 garbage receptacles as specified in the quote provided by K Park that's in your hand, that summary that I gave you tonight. K Park's quote is one of 3 quotes obtained by the Parks Commission and has been verified vendor through its relationship with the town. The movement of the restricted recreation fees of $11,721 will be transferred into account AA 7110-411 Special Projects. Need a motion. This is a capital purchase and will serve the village parks, Vets Field, Temple Field, Mizzier Park, Darrington Park, and Bain Park. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Approval to appoint Joseph Rivera Ramos as full member of the planning board and Barbara Goodman as alternate.
Get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Approval filming police station for student thesis project. Police commissioner approved it. I spoke with him. This is simple. He's going to go in there, take some pictures while they're creating this thesis for this individual.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Approval to hire, I don't know, Emliz Gonzalez as part-time dispatcher, starting salary $19.79 per hour.
You get a motion?
I'll make
Make the motion.
Okay. I'll second.
Sorry.
Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approval to hire Courtney Bove as a part-time dispatcher, starting salary $19.79.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Approval to hire Teresa Vallone as a part-time clerk, number 29 is her position code. She's in the union. She will be in the union, starting salary of $22.90. Have a
Make
motion.
that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
William T. Gardner reported on July 1st that at their regular meeting, they accepted the resignation of firefighter Christopher Frances.
Get a motion?
To accept that correspondence.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Monthly updates, police.
Excuse me. Just a clarification, a quick one. I'm assuming the people that were appointed to the board, they live in the village of Wappingers?
Correct.
That's right. Thank you.
Anything from police?
Finance.
Nothing new, it's just they're up to their necks right now. It's the beginning of the new fiscal year for them, and both of them upstairs are paperwork up to here.
Highway.
Okay, I'll do highway for trustee Tilichek. They're continuing to work on the sidewalks around the village, doing the blacktop aprons, Creekview Court, and this morning met with trustee Tilichek, myself, and John, Super John, we like to call him. And I'll tell you what, he's got everything covered that's going on in the village. He's doing a great job. They're working on the basins continuously around the village. They've been doing blacktopping and patching and maintenance. They've been getting estimates for different things, and the problem is that the sweeper truck needs repairs, and the estimates that they were getting to do this, have these repairs done by outside people were, as John put it, were very extremely high. We have capable people working for the village in the highway department that are doing the repairs. We should be very grateful that we do have the people working for us that can do it, so that we do not have to pay these exorbitant fees as they were described to do these repairs. So we're pretty lucky as far as that goes. We also had a problem with the wall partial collapse over at the municipal parking lot, and John did the research into that and the type of concrete that's being used to do that. The crews went over there. They've done a great job in removing the retaining wall that came down, and they're buttressed it up, and they're doing it in stages. And it appears from the pictures that he showed us this morning and the work that I looked at as I drove through the parking lot, they're doing a great job of holding that up so that there's going to be no safety concerns with that wall over there at all. It's going to be a couple of phase operations, and he also expressed the cost of concrete is getting out of sight. And there's nothing we can do about that because we have to have it brought in. And that's something he's been dealing with, but we are at least doing it, and it's being done. They're doing a great job putting the rebar in, doing the reinforcing, and also allowing the type of concrete that's going to be there. You will see the wall weeping water. You'll say, oh my God, the wall is leaking. Yeah, it sure is. It's not going to allow the water to build up behind it and push out. So the type of concrete they're using is a specialized concrete that they're mixing up, and it's going to do the job of retaining that wall for a long time. So they've done a great job. And that pretty much, oh, the storm response, they had a good deal with the storm response as far as keeping the catch basins cleaned out after the heavy rains that we get. The crews are doing a great job with that. And of course, they're working on other things. I spoke to them, actually, I stopped and spoke with them. There's a sinkhole situation going on over next to the Knights of Columbus. They're trying to work that out. And he's got a lot of ADA compliance for sidewalks in the village that he's doing. And I made him aware of one section of sidewalk on my own street that I walk on where it was kicked up, and he immediately wrote that down so that he can come and make sure that nobody's going to get hurt walking down a sidewalk, and they'll probably try and grind it down. So John and the crew, all doing a great job.
Just on a very positive note, those guys were out there this morning, happy putting blacktop on.
Yep.
Trying to fill patches on Wilkins area.
Yep.
We appreciate it.
Yep. Yes.
Fire.
Great guys.
Fire.
We have a question in the audience.
Well, we're going to hold off on questions till we're done.
This pertains to the blacktop as well. I was here a number of years ago saying, you know, on Mizere, all the other streets in the village, okay, nice level blacktop and so forth. And the people on the north end of Mizere, it's terrible, especially down where the children play soccer. This has gone on for years. And considering the amount of taxes we have to pay here.
They are aware. They are aware of that specific section of street. They are, John is completely aware of that, and it will be rectified as soon as possible.
But this has been going on for years.
Yes, it does, and
okay, and no
unfortunately,
one pays heed to the argument.
I can assure you that he's aware of it. He's got it on the list.
Where we live at the end of the street, they know. It was Mayor Matt, over 12 years ago, refused to do 0.7 miles for whatever they were charging. And he wouldn't listen to any reason. There was no way you were ever going to come back and do that last 7/10 cheaper. And that's how we went 16 years.
Can we get on with the meeting, please?
Sorry.
There are young and old walking their dogs. There are
Sorry.
children too.
Fire.
Okay.
Fire.
Thank you.
As of right now, I don't have much to report on fire.
Lake.
Lake, we had the second treatment of the lake for lake weeds, the second of 3 treatments this year. It's actually pretty nice to be able to see water when you look at the lake instead of green weeds. So we are looking forward to the 3rd treatment, and we're looking forward to treating it next year so that we can finally, maybe, please, get rid of the lake weeds and restore the lake to what it ought to be.
It looks really good. Yes, I also recommend
Thanks, John.
that.
Okay, thank you.
I also recommend.
As far as safety is concerned, we have had some problems with the fire alarm system here in this building because it was hooked up to a landline. We have since changed that over now to wireless, so it's guaranteed. And I won't be getting calls at 2 in the morning that they couldn't get through to the alarm. So that safety precaution is taken place.
We're going to take public comment at the end, please.
Recreation.
We are in concert season. There is a concert scheduled for this Friday in the Pocket. The weather is hopefully going to cooperate and we'll be in the park, but if not, we're making plans to move it indoors to the Knights of Columbus. So either way, come out and hear the music play.
They're very good, by the way, in the Pocket.
Yes, they are.
Mayor, anything on water?
No, we have nothing to report right now.
Okay, sewer, I'll attend my first meeting tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock at Tri-Muni, so I don't have anything at the moment on that. There's one item for executive session that I'm aware of, and that is to go over the agreement for this computer system that Craig Roberts put together.
Anything from the board?
I have one thing we're trying to redo. Want to resend the old, our handbook was from 2007, and some of the information's outdated, so I want to start looking into that, so, and update it.
And Trustee Nicholas, was there a motion from 2007 that we wanted to discuss as part of personnel? I don't see personnel on this list.
From 2007?
Yes, it was a buyout motion that was sort of strangely worded, that, you know, like every union employee has a is subject to union regulations and they can receive a buyout, but for non-union employees, it's not very specific. There was a 2000 motion. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I thought we were going to discuss that privately.
Okay, if that's a personnel matter, then
Yeah.
and we'll also have to discuss that tonight.
Okay.
Okay?
Anybody else on the board?
Just a reminder, there's a planning board meeting tomorrow on an issue that is of some interest to many village residents. It is at 7 p.m. at the Boathouse.
Where is it?
At the Boathouse,
The boathouse?
yes,
Where is that?
on Market Street, across from the highway garage.
The old highway.
The old
garage.
highway garage.
I'll have to find out where that is.
Yep.
All right. Anybody from the public?
Yes, I'm here for 2 reasons.
Can you step up front to the speaker, the microphone? And your name and your residence.
My name is Barbara Delarond, and I've been living, I inherited 8 Trabuco Place. Okay. My husband died February 11th of 23, and I inherited it from him, and I have been living there since. And I've been paying the tax bills, except the village tax bill never came to me. And I went down to Anne Marie Pagaleo to pay the utility bill. And I'm looking, why is it still the utility bill being sent up to town of Poughkeepsie to my former address, where I lived over 40 years? I don't understand why the computer system was not updated. And anyway, never got the tax bill, and it was just a few, at 7/1 was the due date. And then Anne Marie told me, she says, oh, well, you're in penalty phase, you owe close to $100 on top of that. And I went, huh? I never got it. So I'm here to ask the board to relieve me of this, let's see, the penalty amount is $92.05. And I wrote out a check today for $1,840.97, and I gave it to Anne Marie. And John Clark says, don't accept it.
I don't think we can accept it because it's the state law.
I want to see that, and I don't think so because I never got the bill. People do not memorize the dollar amounts of the taxes. People don't memorize, especially people who are 75 years old, especially the people like me.
Mayor, this is not a debate. They should state what their issue is and then sit down.
That's it, I'm asking the board to relieve me of this $92.05, okay? Considering the amount of money that is being bandied around in this room, I think this village will survive with that $92.05. In fact, when I went to see, I think he's marvelous. I was very skeptical about the Wappinger supervisor being so young, and not experienced. Well, I met him and I talked to him. This guy's a young Benjamin Franklin. He is going to go places. He is very, very smart, and I wish he were here because I asked him, I says, could you represent me as a lawyer here? He says, I can't do that. You all should be very, very happy that you have got a supervisor in Wappinger who is so intelligent, so bright. Really, I'm impressed. The other thing, too, is I spoke to Leanne Freno. I says, what address do you have? I pay the bills, county municipal school. I said, what address do you have in your computer? 8 Trabuco Place. So why is it that it's not being done in the village of Wappinger Falls?
Did you ever notify the village of Wappinger Falls?
Everybody knew. John Clark knew I was living on 8 Trabuco Place over a year ago.
Dutchess County Parcel has your property at 25 Hornbeck Ridge Road, Poughkeepsie. This is 8 Trabuco Place.
I don't know why it say that. I live at 8 Trabuco Place. And and the thing about it is, even though it's a bigger parcel, it's almost 3 acres, 3,200 square foot house over there, I'm paying more taxes in the village of Wappinger Falls, which is absolutely ridiculous, for a 1,000 square foot. First floor, unfinished attic, unfinished basement on a quarter of an acre. The taxes are ridiculous here. And I have talked to other senior citizens who say it's unaffordable. Why are the taxes so high? Why is the spending so
This isn't it.
high? We're not getting anything.
All right, well, there's a grievance committee you can go talk to in town about.
No, really, frankly, I think we should do away with the village of Wappingers. And I think the redundancy in terms of the number of employees. Now, this means some are people losing their jobs. Let them be absorbed somehow, but I don't really think we should be wasting the taxpayers' money this way.
Ma'am, were
Okay.
you aware that the assessments are done by the two towns, Wappinger and Poughkeepsie? And as part of the legislative committee, myself and Attorney Linders, we're working on bringing that assessment committee back to the village of Wappingers Falls. They do the assessments for village houses at the two towns.
Loretta
You-
Bruno in the assessor's office, she said, will you be happy if you lower your assessment by $200? That's nothing.
Yeah.
That is nothing.
Who did you speak to?
Loretta.
Loretta? It's Christian is the assessor?
Yes,
At the-
the assessor, I went
at Wappinger.
this morning. $200, that's nothing.
Right.
It's 2 nights out for dinner at a good restaurant.
I mean, I completely agree. I put out an email with the proposed local law to the rest of the board on, it was June 18th. So again, I'm not an attorney, but I did propose it. So Attorney Linders is looking that over. Completely agree with you.
The village can't afford to live here anymore.
You do hear me, right? Like, I'm agreeing with you. We should bring the assessments back to the village of Wappingers Falls. Like, I'm agreeing with you.
I think we should have 2 taxes, just like all the other places around here.
Okay.
Not 3 taxes.
But if you're complaining about your taxes, we can't do anything because the assessment unit is in the, so the Wappinger side of the village?
We can make a decision about that.
Yeah.
Really.
No, I'm serious.
It's just like the town of Poughkeepsie.
This is turning into a
Okay,
debate.
thank you, ma'am, for your time. I hope that made sense. Hope I explained it.
We disagree. We will out. And by the way, Albert is retiring this month. Is that true? Is that true?
What?
That you're retiring in July? That's what I heard over in the town.
I haven't heard that.
Are you serious?
I haven't heard that. Mayor, am I retiring in July?
No.
I've headed the personnel committee. I haven't heard that either.
Well, I don't know.
Well, you've been misinformed.
Communicating. I guess maybe it's wishful thinking.
Well,
Ouch.
Is anybody else in the public?
I just wanted to talk briefly about the West Main Street where the sidewalk's been closed for like 5 years.
I'm sorry, I'm deaf.
I wanted to talk about West Main Street where the sidewalk's been closed for 5 years. The community's really concerned about that. It's a very dangerous situation. I can't believe that this existed this long.
I agree.
I understand that it's not the village, but is there somebody from the village contacting them every month where we can get a monthly report on here's the progress being made?
Next week, they'll be in court. I think it's next week. Sometime next week, they'll be in court in Dutchess County. We went to Albany. The judge in Albany has declared that the village of Wappingers Falls is not responsible for the sidewalk, nor is contact. It's up between Central Hudson and the state of New York, so they're taking it to the county court, and that's where next week it'll go.
And so that should settle it
I hope so.
at that point?
We hope so.
Okay. If not, the other thing I was thinking with that street, because it's dangerous, that's a construction project. Make it a construction zone. No commercial traffic, no trucks can go through there. And maybe you can put a crosswalk there as an emergency situation of a construction zone.
It looks like it's ready to cave in any moment now. It's pretty bad. All the rainwater we've been having is washing it
I
out.
can reach out to council and see if they can't do something
Could you please?
between the two. Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
thank you.
That's Adams, right? I think it's-
Yeah, yep,
I just want to give these to the attorneys the papers I said earlier.
no problem.
Oh, by the way, I didn't get an answer on that. I wrote out the check, I paid my taxes, minus the $92.05.
All right, perfect.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. And just one last thing. I want to say, Mayor, I think you're doing a great job. You're very hands-on, and I appreciate all the work you're doing. And John Carge, I've known John Carge since I've moved here. He's been so helpful for Village Hall. He's so pro-village. I don't know how anybody says anything bad about this man when I see the effort he's put in over all these years. Thank you.
thank you, Charlie. Okay.
Pat?
Easy.
I'm getting there. Legs are getting worse. I just, trustee Ruffin was kind enough to say a few things before the meeting started, but just to get it on the record, can you please tell me the status of that, getting that law up?
I have a draft of a local law, which I'm going to pass out to each of the trustees this
We
evening.
think it's moving along, it's
Yeah.
just got hitched.
Yep.
The other thing that was asked by the property owners, since I told them I was coming here, was, and this is probably going back almost a week when I spoke to them, they still had not heard if it was okay for them to order the signs that I guess they supposedly have, what the signs look like, but they want your approval, because my understanding is they've already bought the signs once, put them up, and then been told that they weren't correct, just like they did with the stripes in front of the place. So what they're saying is, before we go do everything the way we think it is, can you guys please approve it? So I don't know who to point them to, but
Planning board, we
Yeah,
can do
we'll
that.
have them here.
The planning board, we can do that.
okay, who takes care of the planning board for here? Is it under the guise of one of the trustees, yours?
Well, we're the liaisons, myself and Walter, so what I'm doing right now is
Could you
actually,
just-
I'm in process of actually typing up, as you're talking, an email to...
Okay, so someone will bring
put the
that
planning board
issue
in touch,
up.
and I'm going to carbon
Because-
copy you and Andrea Galletti on that email. as
These
well.
people were very good. I mean, they responded literally in a
I
day.
believe I did make that request already.
Huh?
I did make that request already, I believe, but I don't know if it
This-
was...
Up until a
gone
week
through.
ago.
Yeah.
And they did paint stripes. Did you see that? They painted stripes with enormous "do not turn," "stop here," and everything. And for the planning board, there was always been a full stop coming out of that mall. It's not there. And if you go look, a lot of times people just roll right out, but I don't want to see anybody getting hurt, so thank you for that. The second point about the road that someone mentioned, that it looks like there is some plan to eventually redo that last 7/10 of a mile?
It comes down to money again. It's always money. They're aware of what's going on. We have to find the money to do it.
Would,
There's
Does
no-
anybody-
There's no time schedule on that. There's no date.
no, but has anybody asked to float a bond for that? So you got 20 years to pay it back before interest rates, and obviously, like I said, Mayor Matt basically 16 years ago delayed it 4 years, and the price of laying down 7/10 of a mile is never going to go down. I don't think anybody in this room thinks that 20 years from now, you're going to get it done any cheaper. But would you be, I mean, what could it cost, $1 million?
No,
Float a bond?
I don't have a clue as to how much it would cost.
But if you don't know how much it costs, how do you know if it's you're gonna have the money to do it?
There's gonna be
Okay, I know at least you're talking about it, which has come a long way in 16 years. And again, positive to the folks that are there. Thank you. I'll check this one.
Anybody else in the public?
Thank you for the vote, by the way. Thank you, John, for... Yeah. The meeting of the planning board is going to be in the boathouse tomorrow because there's a lot of interest in this particular development. It's the second time the planning board has used the boathouse for that. It is, I don't know if anybody's been in the boathouse lately, but it looks terrific. I was at an art exhibit, a photography exhibit over the weekend with a lot of people. I've been in an art exhibit in the same spot. There's a lot of activity going on around the boathouse, which I wish Mr. Ferry had stayed because he did not do a lick of work toward. And the idea that nothing is being done on the boathouse is simply not true.
We just started. I just want to get back there. We just started using it.
I've not seen
Okay.
any publicity about this
Anybody
exhibit.
else in the public? Sir?
Where is this publicity so that other citizens of the village and town can go to the boathouse and see this?
It's on social media. It's on our webpage.
All right, go ahead.
That's it.
Hey, I just wanted to see if we could put a plan in place for like either the next treatment for the lake or following year to encompass?
We can look into the following year, because this year we paid for.
Yeah, I figured we had like a budget set
Yeah,
up.
we paid for the 50 acres.
Yeah.
And where you are is impeding into, if we were to go that route, would be the 70 acre.
Yeah.
So
We do that
We can
whole-
look into it for next.
I mean, we got the letters, and I'm not gonna sit here and
Yeah.
rattle off code, but
Yeah.
like every entity has to,
Yeah.
kind of like maintain their property, and it affects my property value compared to someone who has their,
Correct, yeah.
I don't know, pay
Yeah,
taxes.
we definitely can look into it.
We look into it, like kind of
We can talk,
get on
talk to the
the,
guy and
get it on the books maybe?
maybe try to.
Is this the right place for me to be?
This is the right, this is the right place. No, this is the right place. Gentlemen, thank you. Thank
I
you.
remember there was a method, you just couldn't just jump around or else it wouldn't
I
work.
have a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make that motion.
Can I have a motion?
Second.
Hang on a second.
Walt made the motion.
I made the motion.
Walt made the motion. And I need a motion for Mrs. Ramsey and Mr. Ramsey to come to executive session. They would like to talk to the board about something.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, it's